We're giving you a free 30-day trial of Prime, free delivery, award-winning TV, exclusive deals, and more. Click the link in the show description for more information. Welcome back to the Dadlife podcast. As dads, we want to protect our kids from everything, but heartbreak is one of those things we can't shield them from. We can only help them through it. So let's talk about what happens when your kids experience their first breakups and how we as dads can step up in the best way possible. First breakups are tough. As a dad, when you see your kid in pain, your instinct might be to fix it. Maybe you want to give advice right away or feel angry at the person who hurt them. But here's the thing, their emotions are raw, and sometimes the best thing we can do is just be present. When my oldest went through her first breakup, it hit me hard. I could see the pain in her eyes. My reaction is always that I need to know what happened and we have a talk. But I quickly realized that this moment wasn't about me or my feelings. It was about hers. So instead of jumping in, I would just try and listen and say stuff like, I'm here for you, always here if you need to talk. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is give our kids space to express themselves. I think one of the best things we can do as dads is to be a safe space for our kids, especially during emotional times like a breakup. This means letting them know it's okay to feel sad, frustrated, or even angry. All those emotions are valid. For me, and I know I have a hard time with this, the key was not making it about solving the problem, but about helping my daughter feel understood. I asked her how she was feeling and then just listened. Not with intent to fix, but to understand where she was coming from. And I always want to fix everything. And seeing the pain in her eyes, God, it almost killed me. Like I almost couldn't take it. But it's also about letting her know that it's okay to take her time. Healing from a breakup isn't instant. There's no need to rush her through her feelings. And I would tell her it's okay to feel sad and it's normal to miss the person. I went through a breakup last year and it's been over a year now and I still feel upset about it a bit. But I try and tell her that it may not seem like it now, but time heals everything. Now let's talk about something tricky, avoiding that I told you so moment. Because I'm sure all the parents out there, their kids are dating someone and you don't like their partner. You can see them fighting, you can see them getting treated like crap, whatever it is. But don't say, I told you so. We've all been there, and maybe you had reservations about the relationship from the beginning. Maybe you saw the red flags before she did. It's tempting to say, I knew this would happen, but here's the thing, that's the last thing that they need to hear. Well, even me, with my family, I could tell what they thought. They didn't say it, but I could tell on their faces. So instead of focusing on what you might have seen coming, focus on helping them process their own feelings. A good way to frame it could be saying something like, I know relationships can be hard and breakups are even harder, but I'm proud of how you're handling it. This approach can keep them focused on their experiences rather than their perspective. After all these years, something I've learned is how to help without overstepping. After a breakup, there's a natural temptation to step in and offer all sorts of advice. But it's important to let your kid take the lead on how much they want to share and how much help they actually need. When my daughter was going through it, I asked her if she'd like to do stuff to keep her distracted. And we went on a ton of drives, cranked up the music, just listened, sang along, even cried. Other times, she just wanted to be left alone, and I had to respect that. It's hard for me to leave my kids alone too when they're upset. I really just want to fix everything, but sometimes you just have to do that. While we don't want to lecture our kids after a breakup, we can gently guide them towards seeing the bigger picture. Heartbreak is a part of life, and it often teaches us important lessons about love, respect, and self-worth. Since my daughter's been feeling better, we've had conversations about what she learned from the relationship. Not a formal sit down, just casually over dinner or while we're driving. But you could ask your kid, what do you think you'll do differently next time? Or what do you think you need in a relationship moving forward? I know I think about that stuff personally. I actually made a list of things that I'm going to look for in my next relationship. And I think that's good for kids to learn too. And I think focusing on self-care after a breakup is essential. And you should encourage your kids to do things they enjoy, whether it's spending time with friends, taking up a hobby, or just relaxing. One of the best ways to help them move forward is by reminding them that the world is still full of love and support. Like I said, with my daughter, we did a bunch of driving. And it wasn't about trying to make her forget, but about reminding her that there's life beyond that relationship. And that I'm always here for her no matter what. Heartbreak is one of the toughest things that you'll ever go through, in my opinion. Like, I don't think there's anything worse. It's horrible. But being there for your kids during their first breakup is one of the most important roles we can play as dads. Sometimes all it takes is listening, offering support, and reminding them that they're stronger than they feel right now. Remember, it's not about fixing their pain, but about helping them navigate it. And as they do, they'll know that her dad is always by her side. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Dadlife podcast. Make sure to check us out on all social media at Dadlife Pod. Until next time, take care.